I went out of the court. They're all just pushing. They're all kind of like pushing you against the wall. And I was getting closer and closer to the wall.
The wall was getting closer. With every push from the surging crowd behind her, 20-year-old Alex felt herself pinned tighter, her shoulder blades pressed against cold concrete. Her father and coach were somewhere in the chaos, lost in the crush. There was no security, no space, just hundreds of fans who had waited for hours, desperate to watch her practice at the 2026 Australian Open. Overwhelmed and trapped, she shouted the only words that could save her.
Like, wait, give me some space or I'm gonna get run over.
Give me some space or I'm going to get run over. She said it once, then again, louder, trying to be heard over the noise. Give me some space or I'm going to get run over. When one of the WTA's fastest rising stars needs security just to leave a practice court, and none is arranged, the tennis world suddenly has a story it can't ignore. Weeks later, what Alex Eala revealed on a podcast exposed something far deeper than a single frightening moment in Melbourne. She arrived at the 2026 Australian Open carrying more than just a racket bag. She carried the expectations of an entire nation, a global Filipino diaspora stretching from Melbourne to Dubai to New York, filling stadiums with flags wherever she competed. At the time, her ranking placed her outside the automatic bubble of tour-provided entourages and heightened security protocols. The crowds treated her like a superstar, but the system still treated her like everyone else. That disconnect came into full view on an outdoor practice court at Melbourne's National Tennis Centre. The setup was routine, bleachers on both sides, a ramp leading up from court level. No barriers, no bodyguards, no tournament staff stationed between Eala and the public. She finished her session, packed her bag, and stepped toward the exit. What met her wasn't a line. It was a wave. Fans surged forward, reaching for signatures, photos, and anything they could get. A chance to be part of the moment. The fans at the front could see her. The ones behind them couldn't. And they kept pushing. Alex Eala later described the scene herself on the Players Box podcast in late March. There was a stream of people coming because they wanted me to sign. I couldn't move. There was a wall behind me. The people at the back couldn't see what was happening in front. They just kept pushing. They were pushing me closer and closer to the wall. I kept getting tighter and tighter. And I was thinking,
watch out, there's a kid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, this is getting dangerous. Her father was there. Her coach was there. But neither of them could stop physics. The crowd's love had turned into a real safety hazard, and no one from the tour had anticipated it for a player ranked outside the top 30. Now, Alex Eala needs security just to practice. And the fact that she had to figure that out herself says everything about how quickly her rise has outpaced the infrastructure around her. What makes the Melbourne incident more than just an isolated scare is that it's part of a growing pattern, one the tennis world can no longer ignore. Eala herself pointed out the shift during that same podcast appearance. That's another thing I had to get used to, my practices, she explained. That's when I realized things had changed. They were waiting for my practices. At the beginning of the year, it was a little overwhelming. Not her matches, her practices. Fans lining up before she even stepped onto court. City after city. Tournament after tournament. Melbourne. Dubai. New York. The demand wasn't local. It was global, and it followed her everywhere. Now imagine being any other player ranked around her level. You walk onto a practice court. Maybe a few people glance up. You finish, towel off, and leave. Nobody waits. Nobody pushes. Nobody needs to be told to step back. That's normal. But Alex Eala's experience is the opposite of normal. And that gap, between ranking and reality, is the entire story. No other player ranked in the 40s is forcing conversations about practice court security. The geographic reach confirms it isn't a fluke. Eala listed the locations herself. New York was big. Melbourne. Dubai. The Middle East in general has a huge Filipino population. Every stop that intersects with a Filipino community becomes an event within the event. The draw isn't just tennis skill, it's cultural identity walking onto a court with a racket. Jessica Pegula, then ranked world number 5, witnessed it firsthand in Dubai. Speaking on the Players Box podcast, she recalled, Desiree and I were both in Dubai. You could hear the noise from the hotel. My coach asked, "What's happening?" It was Alex's match. It was wild. A top 5 players coach hearing crowd noise from outside the stadium, from a hotel building away. And the answer was Alex Eala. Through all of it, the wall incident, the overwhelming crowds, the noise, Eala's instinct wasn't to step back. It was to move closer. At the 2026 Miami Open, viral videos showed her overriding security barriers to meet fans. She walked past the barrier instead of hiding behind it. That wasn't brand management. That was connection. Every Filipino flag in the crowd meant something. Every fan had traveled, waited, and hoped to be seen. That's why the bond between Eala and her supporters feels different. More personal, more genuine. Desiree Crouchick, a longtime WTA veteran, recognized it immediately. When Eala shared the Melbourne story, Crouchick responded with disbelief, "You can ask for security." Eala hadn't even considered it. But she listened. She requested security for her next practice. The difference was immediate. Crouchick summed it up perfectly, "You're crazy big here." Coming from a fellow professional, that line carried weight. This wasn't hype. It was recognition from inside the tour. And the timing couldn't be more important. Eala's clay court swing would soon take her across Europe. Stuttgart Open, Madrid Open, Italian Open, French Open, each stop raising the same question. Is the infrastructure ready for the demand she creates? Her ranking hovered around number 45, but the crowds didn't reflect that number. At the 2026 Australian Open, she lost in the first round to Alicia Parks. But when she left the court, the fans were still there. The flags were still waving. The support didn't depend on winning. Later, she admitted the emotional weight of that moment. Losing on court, yet embraced off it, something she'd never experienced before. She wondered aloud, "Why do I need security? I'm just going to practice." But Melbourne answered that question for her. She moved forward the only way she knows how, by competing. At Indian Wells Open, she beat Coco Gauff. At Miami, she reached the round of 16. The results mattered. But the crowds the next morning mattered even more. A wall in Melbourne. A voice asking for space. A world number 5 hearing noise from a hotel room. A fellow player saying, "You're crazy big here." Alex Eala isn't just playing tennis. She's carrying an entire nation's pride onto courts that were never built for that level of emotion. Now the sport has to adjust. Bigger security, better planning, new expectations. Because when a player ranked outside the top 40 draws attention like a superstar, something fundamental has changed. So here's the real question. Is Alex Eala redefining what it means to be a WTA superstar, where cultural identity and fan devotion matter just as much as ranking? Let us know what you think. Because this story is just getting started. Tennis,